Welcome into the PHNX Cardinal podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Show some class. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined as always by the GM Saul Bookman, Cardinal great Frank Sanders here on a Football Friday. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing good, doing good. Saw you guys just a second ago.
What do we call Johnny? Since he calls me the GM and he calls you Cardinal Great, what do we call Johnny?
I don't know.
Johnny's the maestro.
Johnny Drama.
Johnny Drama, that's
Man,
right. I
you
forgot
coined
about
me
that.
as
Johnny Drama.
Half the Twitter. I love all of you in the comments that
He want that smoke.
I do. I want it all.
It's so irrelevant, too. It really is.
Yeah.
And I told Johnny this today. I said, listen, man, there's a lot of people that just want to be pissed off and think that you started this firestorm. No, you made an observation and you posted that observation. That's what it was. It was a fact. It was a fact.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't help the way it is. It's just a fact. If you don't like it, talk to Kyler.
That's right. I am cutthroat, as you all are in these Twitter streets, and I can take it. I am also thirsty for clicks. I'm going to get a big bucket right here of either like a picture, and I'm going to write clicks on it because I am thirsty for retweets and clicks, but in the name of entertainment and in Cardinal news. And hey, guess what? Guess where we're starting today, ladies and gentlemen? More social media drama as it relates to the Arizona Cardinals. There was some speculation what the Cardinals would do in response to Kyler Murray's social scrub that, by the way, here on a Friday, he has yet to acknowledge. He's on Twitch playing video games, I guess, having a good time. Cardinals are having a good time.
Kyler's just living his life.
He's living his best life.
Yeah.
I'm living my best life. Leah, do you have the graphic for today? Instagram on the left. Instagram on the left. Kyler Murray, we've all seen it by now. You've been beaten in the head with it. Here's one more time. That's what his Instagram looks like. We woke up to this morning, or some of us, our own Kirsten Susel pointed this out last night on Instagram. The Cardinals, they're playing along with the fun. Look at that. Kyler Murray on the left, Cardinals on the right, basically mirroring what Mr. Murray's got going on there. And so my reaction is, I think it's nothing. Saul, what do you think?
You know what I think? I think this just illustrates how Kyler understands social media, and he's a trendsetter.
Yeah.
He's a trendsetter. I guarantee that other people are going to start mimicking the same thing. Hell, I might just archive all my photos except for 2 today.
I don't have enough to make that happen like that. I'm probably the wackest Twitter poster.
Do you have Instagram?
I do have Gram.
Do you have
Gram? I got the Gram. Yeah, I just don't.
He sends me stuff through DMs.
Yeah, I do all the time.
Shit
yeah,
at like 10 p.m. at night, like football highlights or whatever. I love it. When I get a little red notification from Frank, I know I'm in for something good.
That's going to be pretty freaking good. I don't send unless it matters. Look, let's just back up a little bit and say that Kyler just played a football game on Sunday. He's not even a week removed from the game of football. Some people have had a month off.
Can we call the Pro Bowl game real quick?
Yeah, we can, because he still has to go through the process of traveling, getting ready for it. There is studying, there's film, there's the little shenanigans that's still going on. Yeah, there's some stuff. Yeah, there's not film study, but getting together, practices. Those are still stuff that he has to do.
Yeah.
He's hanging around his guys, but this is the elite guys where you still got to measure up to. Like, it's not necessarily like a bunch. It's got to be still full of anxiety because you're there by proxy of not getting to the Super Bowl. And those questions on how you lost the last game is still on the table. And he still has to answer those questions. And now, he's just 1 week away from the game of football. So I get it. Sometimes you just want to get away, and I think that's okay. I think that it's his right to do it. He doesn't have to allow us into his life.
No.
Not in the social life. But when it comes to what he does on Sundays with the Arizona Cardinals, that's all that really matters. There's nothing else that he owes us outside of that but to be a professional football player and to do his job as we want him to do it. Now, the incentives on the table.
Yes, I agree. We're not owed anything from Kyler Murray. We are owed, I believe, new uniforms from the Arizona Cardinals, and there is some talk among social media you had DeAndre Hopkins 2 days ago talking about this could be the start of some new threads. People tried to twist those words around that it was in relation to new uniforms. This could also be the Cardinals and Kyler Murray maybe working in conjunction and laughing at all of us. Maybe they're rebranding. So do you think there's any merit to the fact that the Cardinals could be rebranding en route to new uniforms?
Listen, I will say this right now, as opposed to any other time in Cardinals history, if there was ever two individuals on this team that you would want to at least have their 2 cents on a new uniform, it would be Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Because their fashion swag is off the charts.
Yes.
Like, I just believe that if the Cardinals were like, Kyler, what do you think about this? I feel good about the prospects of any adjustments that needed to be made or things that he does or does not like because, hey, he's got a good pulse on that stuff. So I'm hoping that the Cardinals do, in fact, release some new uniforms. I do think the thread thing I think there's something there to that. I do. Diop's, he's a clever motherfucker.
He is. Man. He's a entrepreneur off the field. It's part of the reason he wanted to leave Houston. Not leave, but he got away from Houston because Bill O'Brien was on his case about too much stuff out of football. And the Cardinals said, Cliff Kingsbury said, come here, we'll let you do whatever you want off the field. Yeah. Be your own person. Come here and ball for us, Monday through Sunday. And then in your free time, take care of business, what you want to do. Fitzwade in the chat says this is all stunt to generate social buzz for uniforms. I love hearing that. I hope that's true. Sean Murphy, anyone who really spent more than 5 minutes on the Instagram thing, I am sorry for your loss.
I mean, it's so true though. Like, honestly, like if we didn't sit here and have to talk about it on the show, I would have looked at it and then been like, Kyler.
Are you saying that I am dead inside because I'm into this Instagram thing? I'm sorry for your loss because I have no soul. Well, that might be partially true, and I feel like that's kind of where Sean was going a little bit. Are you dead inside, Johnny? No, I am not. I am very much alive with off-season fever as it relates to this whole thing.
One hell of an interpretation.
Mr. Sanders,
yes,
new
sir.
Uniforms coming. What do you think?
He says no way. I would never.
I'm just fucking with you, dude. You're good.
The implications I think the implications he does have against you is probably on point, though.
Yeah, a lot of people are out for me right now.
A lot of people are out for me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I woke up from a text from Saul real quick this morning, basically saying like, we got to come at these people today that are taking all this too seriously. No, let's keep it going. I want people to be upset about this.
No, I'm just like, why waste your energy on this? Like, people are like, oh, this is all you, Johnny. You started this. I'm like, bro, chill.
You're giving me way too much credit. First
chill.
of all.
Like Johnny doesn't have pull at ESPN. He doesn't have pull with Colin Cowherd. He can't call up Stephen A. They all chose to go this route.
And that's because they like what he's talking about. They know his stuff is facts.
He didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on him.
Hello. This guy's just reporting some observational facts. I've been with this team for a long time. Mike is a old school guy. And the history of the Arizona Cardinals, I just don't find him being the guy that wants to be the one that changes the uniform. Yeah. I think that is one of the oldest franchises in the NFL, coming from Chicago. It was handed down to him through his dad. His dad is a historian. I think that part of Mike is still tied to that and the Cardinals. I'm not. I wanted them to rebrand this team a long time ago when I was here, and so they have done absolutely. They have changed nothing, but allowed them to go. You
had to wear the dead beak on your head, man.
Thank you.
Thing was soulless.
Yeah.
I mean, so like that part was
it
bad.
It looked like one that you run over on the interstate and then they put it on the helmet. That's what it looked like.
We've been begging for a lot of stuff and asking for a lot of things. This would be a great segue to add into it. I'm not denying it as a player, but I just think Mike is an old school guy and he relishes his dad's the legacy of the family and the history of the Cardinals and what they were. Just a little segue. Just Alabama's never changed the uniform. Notre Dame didn't change the uniform. But there's reason why.
Notre Dame has.
Well, I apologize. Notre Dame hasn't. Auburn hasn't changed the uniform. There's Oklahoma hasn't changed the uniform. USC hasn't changed the uniform. There are certain teams that I don't know what they have in contract or in form of trying to keep.
The Packers haven't because they just don't change the uniform. Franchise, the Steelers. I wouldn't be bitching about their uniforms if the Cardinals had won 3 to 4 Lombardi trophies and were a national brand. But when they are consistently ranked, every offseason poll has them dead last in uniform rankings, and they're just like, what are these god awful monstrosities that we have to look at every Sunday, and then they still won't change. I agree with you though. I think Michael Bidwill is very much like my dad loved the white helmet and the red bird, and he loved this color scheme. I can't mess with it, but it's at the same time, it's just like, good hell, just do something.
Listen, if you're going to release uniforms, like my guy Sean just said in the chat, this is the year to do it, because the Commanders absolutely shit all over themselves with their trash ass unis. We could not do any worse than that. This new poll that comes out this year, the Commanders will be dead last, because those are the worst uniforms in the NFL.
Hang on, I need to find it.
Going back to Ryan, we did cover this a couple times this week. Appreciate what you're saying. There is no way, I believe there are other. I do believe there's other things where you can track what people have posted or where it came from. However, Johnny has never said that Kyler Murray unfollowed the Cardinals. He said he scrubbed them of the social media, off his social media. That's it. Everybody else interpreted that and took that however they will. The whole unfollow thing has taken a life of its own, and that did not originate with my man right here.
No, when we first saw the scrub, I had people, Twitter informed me that he didn't follow them on Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I went to Instagram and I scrolled through his followers, and there weren't that many, and he didn't follow the Cardinals. I'm like, that's weird. So then I went to Twitter, and he doesn't follow a ton of people, and he follows Oklahoma football, and he follows the Oakland A's, and he didn't follow the Cardinals. And I'm like, well, I don't know if this was today or yesterday or before this season, but it's just weird that he doesn't follow the team that he plays for, and now he's scrubbed his social. So I tailored those tweets together. I said, Kyler doesn't. He's the starting quarterback of a franchise, and he doesn't follow the team accounts. That struck me as weird. Some people don't give a shit. That's fine. You don't have to agree with that. I thought that was weird.
That is pretty weird. Again, we talked about this at length this week. You can go back and listen to all our other podcasts. We won't belabor the point on this one. And going to your comment, Sean, to all three, would you be in favor of changing the helmets as well, or just the rest of the uniform? I would. The whole thing. Yeah. The whole. I think the helmets. I do like the whites. I don't hate the helmets. Yeah. However, a little splash of color or something would be nice. I mean, a black helmet would be sick. There's not many. Yeah, there's not many teams in the NFL that have a black helmet. I think that would be awesome. That's my 2 cents.
I grew up with a staunch Cardinals supporter, and my father, who is in his 60s, who loves the white helmet and the red bird, and he is at that point where he said just scrap everything and start over.
And I kind of disagree a little bit with Michael Bidwill's sentiment, right? Okay. He has done things his dad did not want to do. Like, he has changed the outlook of this franchise. He has increased the value of the Cardinals franchise to what used to be one of the worst franchises in football to it's probably about a mid to lower tier now. It's not the highest, but it's not the lowest anymore. They've had success. They've gotten to the NFC championships. They've gone to the Super Bowl. They've had success in the last 20 years. And I think that speaks to Michael Bidwill's leadership as well, whether people want to give him credit for it or not. They did unveil new uniforms once they had the new stadium. So they tweaked the uniforms to a degree. Yeah. I don't see how we don't continue to tweak it a little bit more because, hey, you would be blind if you didn't look at what was happening, for instance, in Seattle. Yeah. And how that entire organization seemingly turned on its
It's the perfect example.
It turned on its head after new uniforms came out. And those uniforms are one of the sickest in the league because of the color scheme and the way they used it. They just tweaked it a little bit. And now it's one of, even if you don't like the Seahawks, you respect the colors. And you're like, man, that's I quote unquote fuck with it.
It ushered in the Legion of Boom era and the Russell Wilson era.
1,000,000%.
I don't know if that was on purpose, but like you remember, I feel like the last game we saw those old Seahawk unis was the Marshawn Lynch run against the Saints. And then the next year, they kicked off this new era, and it's their most successful in franchise history. They won their first Super Bowl. Sean, appreciate the shout out. I love the outline on PHNX. Maybe we're just better shirt Johnny is wearing. You can get this, by the way, PHNXLocker.com. It is a fantastic shirt. He goes, something like that on black might be sick as hell. Absolutely. I think there's nothing wrong with going black as the primary color for this team.
No, except for it's hot as hell in Arizona, but they
That's
don't play
true.
outside. So
They
it
don't play
doesn't matter.
outside. They play in a dome, and they don't even open it up. I agree with. I would love to see the change. As a player, I think it will definitely add into the recruiting process when it comes to free agency.
Yes.
This is already a great place to stay and live. Great environment at your own city.
It's so silly, right?
Right.
When you're talking about millions of dollars of salary, a place to live, that a uniform could make a difference between where you play and where you don't play. But it's true.
Look good, feel good. Yeah.
It's so true.
Do you know when it comes to like being recruited out of college, the things that you focus on?
Who are your top 3 schools coming out?
Miami, Florida, and Tennessee.
Why didn't you go to Miami?
They were wild, man. It was wilding out down there, bro. It was wild. When I got there,
Too wild for Frank Sanders?
Bro, when I got there on visit, it was wild. Like one of my visits was in Club Luke, so I was just too.
Oh my God!
I'm already from Fort Lauderdale. I'm 45 minutes away from the U. I couldn't continually stay in that environment.
Did you meet the assistant coaches?
I met a lot of coaches.
The recruiters. You met the recruiters.
They actually sat me in a room, man. It was just a room about as big as this here, and I got in there, and it was a club, so I was in a club. But when I got in that room, it was probably 15 bags of just money blown everywhere, just bags of money. Just you walked on top of money.
That's what my college experience is like too. That's exactly what I.
I went to a strip club, and it was a strip club. I didn't go in a regular room. I went to it was Uncle Luke's. They took me to Uncle Luke's, and the guy was like, "Hey, I just gotta run in for something, and I'll be right back." He said, "Just chill right here." I went through the back door, chill right here, and he opened the door. He said, "Go in there and just chill for a second, bro. I'll be out." And I walked out, and then when I got in, I was walking. I looked around, and kind of I did. This is all money. God, I put my hands in my pocket and just stood still in the middle of the room. Because I wasn't about to give up my rights to choose based upon the potential of me grabbing some money with no honeys. I just felt like but it was too wild, man. It was too wild. Recruiting visits are the best. And so just going back, if you guys go back and look at it, what do they do typically to get the kids in schools? They put their name on a uniform and they show them they put their name on a uniform, they put it in their locker, they show these guys what it is, how many uniforms they might have. If you can go to Oregon, you're gonna have 8 to 12 uniforms with your name on it, just to show you we don't limit ourselves on anything.
We as Cardinal fans, we are limited by these uniforms. I don't think fans want to rock these uniforms at the stadium. I think the black one is popular because it's new and it looks the best. But when I was at the games covering the team this year, I did not see a lot of new Cardinal jerseys representing like if you see a J.J. Watt or a Hopkins jersey, it's on the black jersey. Nobody wants to buy the red and white ones. Yeah. Austin says in the chat, Kyler said times in the past the unis are plain, they don't look good. So that's what this could all be leading to. I hope so, because he has said that. I think he's called them ugly on a stream before. That was like 2 off seasons ago. So you would assume that Michael Bidwell could take a hint. You mentioned the Commanders uniforms with the formerly the Washington football team. We have that now. I don't think they look that bad.
Dude,
you think they look?
First of all, the homeboy on the right looks like he should be playing for the Steelers.
That's true.
And then the two on the left, I don't even know what the hell this is. Like they look like copper pennies. It's just like a J.C. Penney version of what the Redskins used to be. Like it's just ridiculous.
Great Value Redskins. Is that what this is?
I guess so.
And the Commanders. I just don't know how you come up with that name.
Like and the crazy thing about this is they did polls. Yeah. They polled the people, and Commanders was like one of the worst
Dan
performing.
Snyder. No. Those polls went right into the. It's like right into the shredder.
They're like, we hear you, people, and we hate you, and this is what we gave you.
I do like Sean mentioned the matte red looks nice. I'm a big fan of matte colors, Sean. That does look good. But yeah, the color scheme is. But at least it's new.
What if the Cardinals had like a matte red helmet?
It would look awesome. It would look fantastic.
We could expand in so many areas if Mike wanted to. And it would only continually, which I agree with you guys saying, increase the value of this team. And you'd win more people outside of just the normal Arizona Cardinal fans. But those who live here from other places will buy on to that, and they would associate themselves with this new image of the new Cardinals.
People would say, I'm not a fan of the Cardinals, but that Kyler Murray jersey is sick. I'm going to buy that. Somebody in Ohio or somebody in Pennsylvania. Yeah. The Cardinals, if you go to like lids around the country, outside of this state, because I grew up in Chicago,
you'll never find any Cardinal
Cardinal gear because people don't want to rock it, right? Casual fans don't want to buy it. But I remember when the Seahawks, coincidentally got good, you could find Russell Wilson jerseys or Richard Sherman jerseys all over the country.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, great stuff in the comments. Bobby says the Steelers, Red Tails would have been fire. That would have been the best name.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's the one that I wanted the most.
Yeah. Donnell Weaver, a lot of people don't like the Washington Commanders name on the away jersey. I do like the black jersey, though. I think they're fine. I just am jealous that it's something new. I'm jealous that other teams.
Yeah.
If you're rebranding anyway, there are always going to be people who don't like it. People miss the old name. I mean, John Riggins came out and was like, I don't want anything to do with this new organization that they've turned into. Nobody who I played with wants to, meaning he wants to, run it back with the Redskins. But I mean, they had to retire that name, so they had to try something different. The Cardinals they're stuck in their old ways. It's the perfect time for a rebrand. I'm in Maryland, and no store near me sells Cardinal jerseys other than the black Kyler jersey. I have to get everything online elsewhere. So that's a perfect example, Ryan. It's like, first of all, Kyler Murray is the most popular player for this franchise, and he is box office, and that's why it is available in Maryland, and that's the only jersey that can gain traction. Yeah. That's the only player and the only jersey right now that can gain traction.
Going to the Rams game, there was other things that I noticed about what was going on, like the Rams intro to their game.
Yeah.
Right. They incorporated a local vibe. Obviously, when you're in LA, you got plenty to choose from, right? They came with like a Nipsey Hussle vibe, but it was a vibe that the players absolutely effed with, right? They loved it. And it got me hype. I was like, oh man, if I was a Rams fan,
it was unbelievable.
It was awesome.
It was
and the experience and the environment and everything just went. Going into the Cardinals stadium, it's I think the game experience when the game starts is just like anybody else. But
solid.
But coming into it, I just felt like it's just the production value was a little bit missing. The concessions take so long to get through. The Ram Stadium, I got in and out and got my stuff within less than 5 minutes.
It's the nicest stadium I've ever been to.
It's crazy. So like you when you add the experience and then you add what you're wearing, it's like we're doing our damnedest to create shit for you guys to wear that you want to F with, right? So the Cardinals got to change it.
Real quick, Leah, can we go back to that question from Donnell? And I want to pose this to both of you. Since you guys are Arizona sports fans, which uniforms, I know what Saul's going to pick, do you like the best out of the 4 major pro sports of your hometowns? Coyotes, Suns, Cardinals, Diamondbacks. You go first.
I'm taking the Suns, without a doubt. Well, how they revamped the Valley and took just from the Valley of the Sun and they became the Valley. And then all the other retro colors and retro fits they threw into it. It just, so many people wanted to buy. A lot of people bought those jerseys and shirts for the purpose of just association with being in the Valley.
Yeah.
And that to me was more than enough.
You're repping your hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
That's what people want to.
I thought.
Want, you know what I mean? For me, it's that. But a close second would be the original black Diamondbacks jersey.
Okay.
Because they had it was all black, but you had the teal that just popped off the chest. The turquoise, obviously the Native American vibe to that. Like I really like those two because they were just clean. They were clean jerseys. Like I love it. So those would be my 2.
It says something. Michael Bidwell would kill to be able to have a jersey like the Black Valley jersey for people to be waiting outside in groves in lines before the store opened to get that product. I don't know how you go anywhere other than that. I think it's the best outside of the Miami Heat, Miami Vice jersey. I think it's the best NBA jersey hands down.
You like that jersey? Huh?
You don't like that one, the Miami?
There's a lot of people that do not like that.
Oh, I'm a big '80s guy, and I like that color scheme. So we'll talk about that on a different day. So we're gonna talk about
Crockett,
oh my God,
Johnny Crockett over here.
Like, dude, you could be on Miami Vice.
I appreciate that. Don Johnson.
Oh my God.
All right,
Leah, we need that graphic.
Yeah, I need a T-shirt. All right, the moment we've been waiting for since September is finally here in honor of the big game.
Funny.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Is giving new customers 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 or more, you get 280 in free bets if your team wins. Not a new customer, you can bet on a plethora of Super Bowl props instead. DraftKings Sportsbook offers a wide range of props throughout the game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code PHNX. Get you some cash. 21 and over. Arizona only. Gambling problems. Call 1-800-NEXT STEPS. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. We've got a PHNX Bets Daily special coming up this Sunday, 3 p.m. before the big game. Myself, Shane Diefenlock, bunch of PHNX personalities are going to stop by to give their favorite props for the game. I'll give you a sneak peek. My DraftKings pick of the week this week, T. Higgins, first touchdown, Cincinnati Bengals at plus 1,200. But keep it locked in on PHNX Bets Daily this weekend. Sean, Johnny Rico Venerable, I don't hate that. I don't hate it.
Donnell, this is a Wendy's, so we don't talk about coyotes. But yes, we're happy they're staying in the valley.
This is not Wendy's. All right. I want to get to some more of these comments. Ryan, imagine letting Kyler and D-Hop having input on the jerseys.
Yes.
That would be fire. Also imagine how much more money they would make. I think Michael Bidwill is very smart. I think he is an owner you can win a championship with. I've been committed to that. That's not rose-colored glasses. I believe that wholeheartedly.
I do too.
He bought a freaking private jet. They're one of the only 2 franchises that have their own plane now, and they ride in style. So like, it's so ass backwards to me that they would do that before the new uniforms, though. Does that not make sense to you?
No. I mean, that's.
I feel like you checked the box.
But they were rolling they were like 8-0.
But that had to have been in the works.
I mean, yeah, it had to be in the works. But so that'd have been a great time. I mean, it would be a great time to unveil it.
God, wouldn't that be great if they were like, we're 7-0, guys. I'm buying the jet. I'm pulling the. I was on the fence. We're 10-2. I'm getting the jet. Oh, we've shit the bed again. Whoops. Wouldn't that be? That's not what happened. But
no, it's not. No, but you're right.
Of course, the plane has Wi-Fi.
It does now. Yes.
Listen. I rode like you rode on team planes.
Mm-hmm.
Might be. I don't know. You tell me if it was the same or different. So I rode on the Diamondbacks team plane on a company event, and we flew to San Francisco, and I was blown away with the stuff that they let you get away with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I got on the plane, I didn't even have to buckle up. My suitcase is literally just on the ground, and I had like 3 feet of space in front of me. I had all the room I needed. I could recline all the way, and there was food and beverage in the front, food and beverage in the back, a whole like fruit tray and sandwiches and salads, and I'm like, this is what it is. Like, you know, so now every time I'm sitting on stupid ass American Airlines and the lady's like, can you push your bag underneath the seat in front of you? I'm like, it ain't going anywhere. I got 1 foot between my knee and the seat in front of me. I'm gonna freaking sprain a ligament in my freaking knee. Get the fuck away from me right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't think Michael Bidwell's stewardess is coming around doing that.
Was it the same?
Nah, it's absolutely it's wild. It's wild. It's not if you are a first-time flyer and you're getting yourself onto a private plane by any professional team, it's night and day. Guys are pushing seats. We literally take there's 1, 2, 3, the third seat, the middle seat. We literally can just push forward.
Yeah,
and you can push it all the way down and like be conversing and playing cards in between both guys, like both seats while you're playing. He's over here. We're all playing cards right on the table. So it's definitely a more it's no FAA regulations are being followed in this situation right here at all. None. The pilot takes off with his hat turned backwards. I'm pretty sure he's probably got
now.
It's 100% wilding out. So and then of course these guys are going to get bigger seats, first class. I'm pretty sure.
Got added to the no-fly list.
Yeah, you're done. You're out in a bus.
Yeah, you probably will not get. You probably won't get.
I do like Southwest though, so we're good.
Very good. We gotta get those points. All right, Fitzwade says these uniforms should have went down with Josh Rosen. Burn it all. Yep. The day you shipped his ass to Miami, you should have just taken a bonfire to everything else. I'm with you there. Ryan, our logo is too good for our jerseys. I like the logo. I don't think the logo is changing, even if they get uniforms. But I'm with you there. The old logo.
I'm cool.
Your logo.
Yeah. Look, when we got here, it was the Phoenix Cardinals. It wasn't the Arizona Cardinals. And so I got drafted to the Phoenix Cardinals. And we literally had a moment where they put a royal blue, yellow, and red flag on the jerseys to bring about the idea that we were becoming the Arizona Cardinals.
A lot of fans want to bring that back, too.
And that's so when you look at the colors of the Pro Bowl uniforms that they had on, that was the royal blue with red stripes and a little bit of white in there, then it will add to the same thing. there's so much room to play with, especially when you're a team that's sponsored by a reputable company that your uniforms are given to you. And so there's a lot of room to play with. I think we've held on to this position long enough, going back to think that just the history of the Cardinals probably has more sentimental value to Mike than anything else, that keeps it in connection to his dad and the history of that part of it. And I think we should expand. And I'm hoping that we do that, because I think that the Valley and the base of the Valley and the face of the Valley has changed so much that we need to evolve ourselves with that.
I just want to win a championship before I die. I just want us to win a championship.
It's coming.
Before we die.
It's coming.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, dude, I've been a Cardinals fan since I was 8. Like,
yeah,
bro, I need a championship, man. I need a championship other than the D-backs. I just do.
Suns are winning this year.
I hope so.
That'll get done.
Ooh, wilding out on Central. I promise you.
Good
that.
hell. Can you imagine what that's
Central is right here? I guarantee the parade will start right around here. Oh man, it's gonna be
bomb. 100%.
You can bet when that happens, we'll have new gear, PHNXLocker.com. If one of your New Year's resolutions, by the way, is to look and feel better, forget the gym, crazy diets, get the new gear to rep your team. And again, assuming that the Cardinals get new uniforms, we'll be right along there, PHNX, with the hottest T-shirts to play off of, maybe some new color schemes, fingers crossed. Head to PHNXLocker.com today. Pick up any T-shirt, $29.99. You get awesome sticker packs for $5. Become a member at GoPHNX.com for the full year at just under $60. Get a T-shirt for free. So until the Cardinals get new uniforms, and long after that, keep it locked into PHNXLocker.com to rep your favorite team today. All right, gentlemen, as we keep this conversation going, I do want to ask you about this weekend, Super Bowl 56. Again, PHNX Bets Daily. We're going to have a special this Sunday, and we're going to talk about the props and all that good stuff. But I'll start with you. Who's winning? Bengals, Rams?
I'm fighting. I'm in my mind, I think the Bengals will win. But in my heart, I believe that defensive lines have won more championships consistently over the last couple of years. So I'm going with the Rams because I believe they have the best defensive line. And the defensive line is what have in the long run, have shut down a lot of the wins that Tom Brady should have 3 more championships, but teams he's faced, their defensive line was just as strong. Cam Newton, when he played the Denver Broncos, their defensive line was just as strong. And so when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, when they beat the Patriots, their defensive line with their front 7 was just as strong. So now I believe that the Rams' front 5 or 7 is just that good, where they will put so much pressure on the running game as well as the passing game that I got to go with those guys at the end of the day, that the Rams will win.
My heart wants Cincinnati to win. My brain is telling me that the Rams have the edge, like Frank said. However, man, there's just something about Joe Burrow, man. He gives me Tom Brady vibes all over again. And I'm like, man, are we about to see another run like the Patriots just had with this guy at quarterback? Because he just has got it.
Yeah.
And people want to sit there and say, well, they had 3 interceptions or turnovers. But like, dude, he still has it. He showed you he had it when he got to LSU and absolutely destroyed everybody in the country.
Yeah.
Very true.
And now he's coming in here. He gets hurt last year, and then he comes back, and he's comeback player of the year. Mm-hmm. He's leading this team along with Jamar Chase to a Super Bowl, which is unbelievable. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite players in the NFL. I just love Joey B. I love the swag. I want the whole package. And more importantly, I just think he's the epitome of a leader. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to pull this one out.
Bengals, by the way, got new uniforms before the start of the year. My man Sean in the chat says the beauty of the Rams uniform is they look new and electric, but the classic callbacks, I would totally agree. I hate to say it, but I do like the Rams home uniforms. I would hope we would be more aggressive without becoming tacky. And I think that's the fear with a lot of Cardinal fans is I want them to do a splash jersey, something really creative out of the box, but you don't want it to be outdated. I understand that.
But look, so one of our graphic designers, Eric, shout out to D-Line Co. He created all our podcast logos to represent and mirror what the teams look like without mirroring what the teams are. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's a finesse to that. Yeah. And if you do graphic design the right way and you do fashion design the right way, you can curtail and construct a jersey that pays homage to the past, still looks like the past, but is fresh and new. You can.
Yep.
And so that's what the Cardinals have to do.
Another great question by Donnell Weaver in the chat. A bunch of teams have rebranded over the last couple of years. Jets, Falcons, Rams, Chargers, Pats, Jags, Commanders, Titans. Which is our favorite? I would say, the Chargers have, I think, the best template for the Cardinals. Kept their white helmet, right? The bolt, the Thunderbolt's fantastic. And then they went with like bright, vibrant colors. Because if you remember before their current jersey changes, they were kind of like, kind of the faded blue. The last couple years at Qualcomm Stadium, they weren't. Everybody loved the powder blue, right? The alternative, which is fantastic. But their home and away was not great, and they've rebanded to kind of incorporate the best colors. And it's subtle, but it's effective. So I would say the Chargers in that aspect.
So,
the Titans are okay. The Titans are all right. They're not too bad.
Oiler vibes a little bit.
A little bit of an Oiler vibe, which is okay. But again, like I'm just gonna go back to the Seahawks when they rebranded. I thought that was probably the best one.
And there was a bunch of pushback when they came out. People were like, "These are ugly. These are a little bit tacky." And then I think they've grown on people over time. I think they've gotten better each year.
Also, like in that dark, cloudy, always rainy city, a pop of color is a refreshing sight. I think there's also some psychology to this, right? There's people talk about that all the time, the psychology of the aesthetic of what you're bringing, and I believe that vibrant neon yellow is just a refreshing kind of change from what they had before, because what they had before were kind of duller colors, darker colors, the grays, the navy blues, the pewters, and then you looked at their counterparts, and the Seattle Mariners were largely the same too, the same kind of color schemes, and then the Seattle Sonics, basically like a forest theme with dark greens, reds, stuff like that. So when they brought these new additions out, that little pop of color is what separated everything and changed it. So I love that.
Okay. I was going to say the Falcons, but they did a throwback version that was, kind of retrofitted in some areas, and I thought would have looked nice. Yeah. But, when you look at the teams that we have up on this list, they lost. They're losers. Outside of the Titans, everyone else for the most part, and the Rams, everyone else for the most part have been like they've lost. And so it's kind of really hard to be appreciative when all you see is the Jets,
for sure,
the Jaguars, the Falcons, and the Falcons lost what mattered. Just so many. They've lost. So if changing your uniforms get those L's like that, then leave mine alone.
So you know the Bidwell family fairly well. Do you think there's something to be said for Michael Bidwell refusing or being reluctant to change these uniforms, because whether we like it or not, these uniforms represent the winningest time in franchise history. They've gone to a Super Bowl in this jersey, multiple playoff runs, right? They've been their most relevant. They partner with the new stadium. It would really signal the next chapter. Do you think Michael's ready to end this chapter?
You know what? I think this would be a good moment for him to assess the fact that he has the power right now to take the Valley to another place and make the Cardinals just as big.
Put his own stamp
on it in that area. He's done it with a plane. He's done it with going out and get players and paying for those players that, again, I thought was a fantasy football team. I just didn't expect us to have D Hops, AJ Green, JJ Watts on this team at all, or the guys that we brought in that was Zach Ertz. I didn't think that. So those are the things that I think will be great for him right now. I think he's ready to make those moves, man. He has to be. Because, when you're looking at where we are and what's going on with this new team, it's your team. And whatever we've done in the past has been in the past, but that past has been under your watch just as well. And because you've been willing to change, because you've been willing to go get players, that has brought about other players and coaches and people wanting to be here and the support. So therefore, if you just keep moving that needle along with the flow of the vibe and of the Valley, then you will reap the benefits of that financially, as well as what we're hoping the same thing with Saul, championship banners.
That's right. Espo's got a good question. Before I get to that, I want to remind everybody, children 5 and older are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine is the best tool we have to reduce the chances of getting sick with COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccine can reduce the risk of being hospitalized, dying from the disease. It's safe, free, and highly effective, and vaccines are available right now throughout Arizona. Visit azhealth.gov/find vaccine to find a location nearest to you. Espo mentions you guys expect the team to actually have a second helmet shell now that it's allowed in a color other than white. I have to see that to believe it from Michael Bidwell.
Well, not only that, but you listen, we have to think about things in a revenue stream. You have to. If Michael Bidwell does this, he does it because he knows he can make a significant amount of revenue. Yeah. It's not necessarily a freebie for the fans. It's about making money.
Yeah.
It just is.
Mm-hmm. It is.
When you change, if you only change the helmet or give a secondary color to the helmet, how do you sell that?
Mm-hmm.
You can't sell that. There's nothing you could do. You can buy some souvenirs that have it.
And they already released some like that, like kind of off the market stuff.
Yeah, like you can get that already. Right. So in my estimation, no. If you change the color of the helmet or add a second color to the helmet, you are doing so in addition to a jersey release, a color scheme release of some type. So, and going back to earlier is, somebody had asked about the tan jerseys that we've seen so much. I hate those. I absolutely hate those. It's so tacky.
Oh my God.
It's
Saul.
so cliche. Oh, we live in the desert. Give me all the sand.
I can't.
I've never seen a tan jersey.
Okay, I can't look at you right now. I'm in love with these uniforms.
No.
They are the first time I saw
they
something.
Look like we're going to Desert Swarm all over again.
Yeah, let's go and swarm somebody's ass on Sunday and get a dub instead of the chicken shit we saw in Week 18. Let's Navy SEALs this shit and get a couple dubs. These uniforms are, I would almost say they're perfect because they encapsulate desert, a little bit of like military vibe. Don't mess with the Cardinals. They're the first uniform scheme I've seen where I've said punt the white helmet. Leah, our producer, is working to get those up now because Frank hasn't seen them. Espo, Johnny swarms somebody's ass. Venerable, that's right. What don't you like about them?
I just said they look like they're just so dusty. They just look dirty. Like you talked about, oh yeah, we're going to swarm somebody's ass. If you go off with that last performance, it looked like somebody wiped their ass is what it looks like. Like, no, I'm not trying to go down that road with these uniforms.
Oh my God.
This tan? Really tan? Like
desert.
Look at every fucking house in the valley. It's all beige. Like that's what you want to rep on your body?
Yes, I want to look like my home in Maricopa. I want to put my son in one of those jerseys.
Wear that jersey and stand in front of your house and take a picture. You won't even see yourself anymore.
Leah's getting it. Hang on, I'll send it to you.
Kirsten
had
tweeted it like a week ago. So maybe you can look at her Twitter.
Hey, look, I think when we talk about uniforms, we got to go back. And I think what both of you guys are saying are on point because the psychological profile and mentality of having it is the team that's playing, your team wearing it, has to feel like they feel excited, they feel sexy, they feel ready to go play. They want to make plays in these uniforms, and I think sometimes if you get off base between what your key players and your star players want, that could set you back decades on trying to overcome a crappy uniform.
Look outside the window. Look at the side of this building.
That's a Cardinals jersey right there.
Cardinals jersey color right there.
How dare you? All right, I have it, Leah. Do you need it? Leah's got it. There it is. There it is, right there. That's pretty fire, isn't it?
That's fire. I rock that beach.
We're gonna bring it up on the screen for the fans to see because
it looks good on Kyler too, and that's what matters.
I mean, I think that in itself, man. Yeah.
I don't give a shit if it looks good on Colt McCoy. It looks great on Kyler Murray. How's it look on Colt?
Oh my God, it's too funny. It's gonna look beige.
If Kyler Murray wants that, it is. I can't believe you dislike it. That's so disappointing.
So let's do this here. I think that because you get primarily 8 home games for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to figure out how you're going to maximize.
Probably going to Mexico City.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to figure out how you're going to maximize.
We're going to Mexico City.
We're going to Mexico City?
We'll probably drive.
Drive to Mexico City? That's like fucking 12 hours. Are you out of your mind? Hell no.
We were trying to decide we were going to drive to Dallas.
I was going to drive to Tampa.
I was gonna get a bus.
That's the same thing. It's 17.
Bus
20.
to Mexico?
No, that's true.
Jacob in the chat. Colt McCoy
We'll be on the
Jacob, you
ground.
shut your mouth. Colt McCoy would not have won us that Rams playoff game. How dare you?
Oh, man. Nobody would have won that Rams game the way the Rams came out.
Oh,
And
my
played against
God.
us.
There it is. Michael, if you're listening, please, I'm on my knees begging you,
Hey,
come to fruition, make this
we
happen.
got the 95 stucco version of Arizona on our body. Congratulations, Cardinals.
95 stucco.
Ryan says, I think Kyler actually liked, what does that say?
Jackson
I
isn't
actually liked a
allowed.
post of it on Twitter. That's good enough. I'm sold on it right now. I don't even care if that's true. I'm just going to believe it.
Look, I think that's. I love the fact that these are the options you do have to come to grips with where you are, to maximize the fact that where you are in the valley and how many people, how the people
Look at
want
these
to
comments. Look at these
ingratiate
comments.
itself to your
These
team.
comments.
So
All right, not
I love
Derek.
it.
Derek says it's ugly. Everybody else, Andre says it's fire. Sean says that is hot. Jacob, are we going to war? Hell yeah, we are every Sunday
Every
at
Sunday.
State Farm Stadium en route to a Super Bowl.
If there was any team that could pull it off, though, it would be the Cardinals because of their relationship with Pat Tillman and stuff like that. I do
You're
believe
making
that.
the case for it.
Maybe
right now.
you could just do it a one-off.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just do it as a one-off.
No.
Like they did the black jerseys where you only get it once or twice a year.
Yep.
Maybe that could be their color rush jersey, which wouldn't be bad. I would be okay with that. But I don't want that to be the dominant one.
No, I agree
There's
with you
no
on
way.
that. No, I agree.
Then I gotta look at the other shitty uniforms at 16 games out of the year. Ryan says I think they could use a little yellow also. I don't have put the state flag on the
Sleeve.
sleeve.
I mean, now you're basic, Johnny. You basically have just described a military uniform. That's not the way you salute. buddy.
This is
It's a
this
slight hand tilt.
it's right
Middle
here.
finger to the corner of the eyebrow, and it goes straight down the body.
All right.
Coach him up. Coach.
This has been fun. This has been fun here on a football Friday on PHNX Cardinals. Having fun with all of you.
seen the glory.
We're signing off. Be sure, show some class, like, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. We'll be back next week. Again, quick plug, PHNX Bets Daily, Super Bowl special for Super Bowl 56 this Sunday, I believe at 3 p.m. For Saul, for Frank, I'm Johnny Venerable. See you next week. Thanks, guys.